Hello everyone, welcome to Prakash IT. Today we are going to learn about Spring MVC form, right? So we have HTML form, but in this tutorial we are going to learn about Spring MVC form. So in the form we have the text box, we may have a checkbox, radio button, um, and other things also that is there as part of the while working with the form. Okay, that we are going to see one after another. Okay. Here I am going to demonstrate one application that will not interact with the database, but similar kind of application I am going to develop to demonstrate you the Spring MVC form. Okay, previously we have worked with the HTML form. Now we are going to work with the Spring MVC form. Why Spring MVC form? Because the Spring MVC form that is provided by the Spring, once we write the Spring MVC, so that code will be concise in as compared to HTML, and the Spring form are less code as compared to HTML. Okay, if once we write the form and it will convert it to, it will render to the HTML form. Okay, then and whatever the errors binding of the objects that we are going to see as part of the Spring MVC form. Okay, so let me, I have created the folder structure. As you can see, MVC Spring form railway reservation. We are going to develop one kind of reservation, ticket reservation, so that is I have named railway reservation. Okay, okay, so anything you can give, but I have taken railway reservation. Okay, here we will not interact. Let me clear you, we are not going to interact with the uh, database. Instead we are going to render the data into a view page. Okay, here we are not going to work with the XML things, as I have already told. That is why I have copied the config file from my previous applications. Though since I have covered all these config related stuffs, how to work with the how to work with um the Java config approach without XML, that I have already discussed all these things. Here I have configured the URL as slash. Okay, whoever the request with the slash and anything after that, and the view resolver also we have configured here app config. If someone has not visited, so previous tutorial he can visit. Okay, to get the better understanding of the how to work with the Java config approach. Okay, okay, fine. So here we are not going to use the XML approach, so I am deleting this web.xml file completely. Okay, and index.jsp also we don't require at all. Okay, so let me minimize this one config, and here to work with the railway reservation form, so what we need actually, we need, I have created config controller and model. Here for the data binding I have created the package called model. Data binding, what is data binding and all, we'll see in some time, but let me create the controller. It is a railway reservation controller. Okay, railway reservation controller, this is our controller name. Okay, so in order to make this class as a controller, we have to annotate this class as a controller annotation. Okay, these things here if you want to provide any kind of path param, I mean to say request param, so you can annotate with the request param as well. Okay, but here I'm not providing anything. I'm going to work with the method where I will annotate, so for which request it should, this method should respond. Okay, so I'm going to write public string. Let me copy this, and so we are going to return just view name. What it will do, whenever the user request for this particular method with the URL, some URL we need to provide at the rate request mapping, right? Request mapping we can provide, or else we can provide get mapping, and directly we will provide the URL railway reservation, railway reservation, R small capital, R small, railway reservation form. Let me let it railway reservation form. So it will open whenever the user access the railway reservation form. Then the user will redirect to the view, JSP view, that is railway reservation form. Okay, this is nothing but let me write railway reservation hyphen form. So whenever the user requests for the regularization form, then the user will redirect to the this view where we have provided all the details to for the user to enter to book a ticket or for the reservation. Okay, so let me go to the webinf. Here I have let me create the directory views. Inside this views directory, inside this views I will create the JSP page. Okay, JSP page is nothing but regularization hyphen form. This is the our JSP page. Okay, so here I am going to write, let me write h1 welcome to railway reservation. Okay, welcome to railway reservation. Okay, this is the things it will display, and once that is display, then what we'll do here in this form, what we are going to do, so what we'll do here, we'll take the input from the user for the purpose of the reservation. Okay, for the purpose of reservation. So the user wants to reserve, so for that we'll display one form so that user can fill the details. With that details we'll reserve a ticket for the user. Okay, that is our intention here. Okay, here, if we write the form, then what we have to do, write? We have to write the form. Then we have to provide the action and all the URLs, all these things we have to provide here. Okay, in order to work with the normal HTML form. But here, as I have told, we are not going to work with the simple HTML form. So, though whatever the Spring MVC form we are going to use, that will convert into the normal HTML form. Okay, okay, my intention here is to work with the Spring provided form. Okay, let me tell you, like in the Spring MVC, in order to work with the Spring MVC form, what we have to do and what are the various options that is provided by the Spring MVC form. Okay, so that Spring MVC form that is provided inside the tag, you might have learned Spring MVC tags, right? We have the core tags, all these tags we have already covered as part of the JSP, right? So here similarly, here what we have to do, we have to write the form colon form. Okay, in order to work with the Spring MVC form, what we have to do, we have to import this Spring MVC.org tags form tag we have to import. So as you can see, the tag lib prefix form and URI is equals to Spring Framework org tags forms. This is the import we need to this is the form tag of Spring MVC that we need to import in our JSP page in order to work with the Spring MVC form. Okay, so inside the form, once we open the form colon form tag, then let me close this form tag and everything let me put inside the div tag. Okay, so div tag, and div tag, what it will do, it will make it center aligned. Okay, make it aligned. So that alignment and all you can do. Okay, so what I am doing, so here inside the form tag, what usually we write our action, right? Form colon form action equals to railway reservation. Okay, or else, so here once the railway reservation the user has accessed and it will redirect into the JSP page. Then from that, after the user has submitted all the details, what it will do, it will submit the form. So normally we'll write submit. Submit is the URL by using which we will submit. Okay, so then here we are going to write whatever the details user will provide, that we are going to work. So the method will be post, we are going to write here. Okay, reservation controller. Okay, let me write whenever this reservation controller user will request, then this page will redirect, and once the user fills the details and it will submit, then this the user will redirect to the method submit, right? So railway reservation form we have written, once the user has submitted all these stuffs like username, first name, last name, and all the details, then we'll create to handle that form. So we should create one method. Okay, public string uh, submit reservation form. Submit reservation form. Okay, or simple submit also we can write. This is simple a method, right? So submit form, and here how it will take the request. So we'll annotate with post mapping. So this is a post mapping. It is going to handle, right? So for that, the this one is submit. Whenever the user fill all the details and click on submit, then the control will come to the this request, this I mean to say this method. Okay, here what we will do, we will simple return the success page. As I have told, we are not going to save whatever the data user has submitted. We are not going to work with the database. Okay, rather what we are going to do, we are going to display one success page. Okay, railway reservation success, something like that. Railway reservation hyphen success. Okay, this is the JSP page. I just wanted to, so what I mean is, like, this is the JSP page I'm going to return instead of DB. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one JSP page name, reservation railway reservation success page. Okay, this is the success page. Here we will write inside the body, here I will write h1 h1, and here write reservation successful. Okay, this is reservation successful, and here I just wanted to write some style, color, right? Color color I just wanted to, tomato is this one I will try. And here just I just wanted to write some p tag. Inside this p tag, what I will write, please find the below details. So once the transaction is successful, then user has submit reservation is successful, then we have to provide the details, whatever the details provided by the user inside the ticket, right? The successful ticket. So please find the below details. Here what we will do, we'll try to render some data. Okay, so before that, so the data whatever we are going to show, that will come in the format like style, color, colon, some blue, just a format. I don't know much on that, the this one, the makeup kind of thing. So I'm just writing whatever that is coming, right? Okay, fine. So my intention here is to, like, whatever the one the successful reservation successful, we just need to render some data. That is our business logic, right? So here inside, inside this one, we'll, as I have already told, in order to work with the Spring MVC, we will work with the normal text field, then checkbox, radio button, whatever the things we have generally work inside the HTML form, same thing we are going to work with. Okay, first what we'll do, we'll work with the normal text field. Okay, so in order to work with the text field, like username means the first name last name of a user, okay, who is trying to book the ticket. Okay, so for that, what we are going to write, we are going to create the model class for that. Okay, so why? Because we need to bind that object, right? I have already told model attribute and all, how to bind the data. Okay, for what purpose? For what purpose I'm writing this model class? For the data binding. Okay, we need to bind whenever the user send the request as part of the request form, then that data we need to bind. For that purpose, I am writing the now the model class, that is the passenger model. Yeah, passenger details. Okay, I have written the passenger details, or we can write the user details, or user, simple user. Okay, passenger details. So since is a passenger related, so I have written the passenger details is the model class here. Okay, so here I am writing private string first name. This is the this is the field first name. Since I told that we are going to work with the simple text field, so for that I am writing only two field, first name and last name, and going forward we'll increase the code. We'll what I can say, like we'll enhance this code. Okay, so for the time being, what I'm creating, alt insert and the constructor or the select none. Okay, then I'm going to create all the setters and getters. Okay, getters, setters and getters for all the fields. Okay, now our model class is ready. So this is a model class passenger details, which is having the two field, first name and last name. This is a simple text field for our form, for our form. Okay, so regularization form, here we'll take the first name and last name. Okay, so first name, and here we'll try. Okay, I have written form colon form tag is the root tag of the uh, Spring form. Okay, inside that whatever the things we want to write, like in simple HTML form, how we'll write input type equal to text, input type equal to text, then name equal to this one, all these things we are writing, right? But here while working on the Spring form, then we have to write form, then colon, if I do control space, then we'll get form input button, checkbox, checkboxes, errors, hidden label, option, password, radio button, select, all these things are there. Okay, so this is the all these things, like uh, we are going to learn one after another. Okay, for the time being we are concentrating on the text box. In order to work with the text box, we have to use the tag, that is input tag. Okay, so we are writing in the same normal HTML form. How we are writing? We are writing the input type equal to text and name equal to this one. Here instead of name, it is writing the path. Path is nothing but the first name we have to write, and make sure that whatever the field you have provided here, the first name, it should match, right? This, it should match this one, the path name, right? Otherwise you will get data binding will not happen, you'll get error. Okay, and we will make sure to give some br. Okay, let me copy, and here last name. Okay, first name and last name we have provided, and one, that is the for the time being we are just taking the first name and last name from the user, and we will try to submit that form. Okay, so input type equals to submit, then uh, value equals to submit. Okay, so once we run this, we'll get the username, the form will open, the first name, last name, and it will show the one submit button. Okay, once the user click that submit button, then the request will come to the submit method. So here we'll try to bind the data. How we'll bind? We'll bind the data with the model attribute. Okay, model attribute, here we will provide the data binding, what is the name, it will bind, right? So reference we are creating here. So let me write the name, reservation. Okay, this is the name, I just wrote. Okay, so this is the name. So to which class it should bind? It should bind to what? Passenger details. Oh, I'm writing inside. Okay, should be right. Passenger details, and this is the passenger details. So what we have written? We have written the model attribute and the passenger details. Passenger details, it will bind whatever the user has provided. Okay, so that is clear. Okay, the same thing whatever we have written here, in order to provide, like in order to provide to bind all the data, here also we need to write, because whenever the user try with the URL railway reservation form, then the user will pop up with the form, normal form, right? Normal form, then there what we need to pop, so some default kind of data, like passenger details dot set first name. First name is I just wanted to write enter first name, and here I will write the enter last name, set last name, and here I will write last name. Okay, so this is the first name. We are requesting the user to enter the first name and last name here for the default value. This is if user has not submitted, this first name and last name will be submitted. Okay, so just for that purpose, here we are using the model attribute. Okay, so if you don't use this model attribute, this name, then you will get some kind of exception. If you don't provide this reservation whenever you are trying to submit the form, method action equal to submit, method equal to post, and to what it should bind. So model attribute you need to provide. So now see, once you type, the model attribute is coming reservation. Okay, so this is how you need to provide the model attribute. If you don't provide, then you will get some exception. Okay, so this is what we need to write. Fine. So now, whatever the development has been completed, where we are taking input first name and last name from the user, and simply while showing this form, and after that we are just submitting the we are showing once the user has submitted the form, we are sending the response as reservation successful, and these are the details. How we will get the details? We will get the details with the uh, first first name. First name is what? Dollar. Then we have to write this expression language, right? Reservation dot first name. Okay, and here in here this is last name, and this is reservation dot last name. So once we have written all these things, then in order to render the data, what we are writing, we are writing the reservation, whatever the model attribute we have written to get the data, dot call the attribute name. Okay, so now the time to deploy our application onto the server. Okay, let me run the application. Let me choose the module MVC relay reservation and apply, then run. Once our application has been deployed, then we'll try to access the endpoint, right, to reserve a ticket. Okay, okay, it is coming net banking dispatcher servlet. Why? Because while writing this web application initializer, here we have written copy paste effect, right? So that is not an issue. We can change this one. Okay, so for the time being, what we will do, we'll deploy our application already deployed. We'll try to access this one. Okay, so let me go to this one, and whatever the form name we have given, what is the form name? Got controller and railway reservation form. Okay, let me try with railway reservation form and click on. Okay, as you can see, it has shown the railway reservation. Welcome to the railway reservation, and first name, whatever the name we have set, here, uh, set first name and enter last name. This is these things we are seeing here. Okay, as by default, this is the default value we are seeing. So in order to enter your real name, what we have to do, we have to enter your real data. For example, I am taking Alex, and here the last name is Alex Roy. Okay, simple text field we are working currently right now. Okay, so what my intention here is, so once we have submitted the first name and last name, we'll try to hit submit, then we are getting some exception. Why this is exception? Maybe we have not annotated, or what? Okay, let's see. Post mapping, railway reservation. relay reservation success slash submit. uh, I got the issue like why we are getting the issue here is like while submitting the form we are writing the action tag with slash. We should not write this one, otherwise it will take the path is not take the context path, right? So that is the issue here. Okay. I think this time it should work. We have changed submitted, right? Controller and all, this is the fine, this is value, this one it is fine. And let me redeploy the application now. Okay, fine. The application has been deployed. Let me try to give the request for that. Let me go back and let me copy this one. We don't want to see. Okay. Okay, now here we'll put John, your first name, and John Cena. We have first name John and this is last name. Oh, we have written first name. Okay. Okay, let me submit, then we'll change. Okay, reservation successful, and please find the below details and the alignment and all we have not done. Okay, so let me go back to our application and here if I go back out to our application, then while submitting the form I just need to change into last name, and on success here we need to give one BR tag. Okay, BR, and here not required. Okay, last name. Okay, so first name and last name here we'll get everything is fine. So we have made changes to the form and this one. I think this should work. This will work. Okay, fine. Let me try to without deploying the application one more time. So let me go back and let me try to submit some Alex, and here name is Roy. Alex Roy. Okay. Uh, okay. So now this alignment issue still there. Okay. So what we have to do? We have to go to our application. Please find the below details. Then here what we have to write? We have to write the BR tag. Okay. So once that is done, then come back to this form and try to resubmit. Okay. As you can see, reservation successful. Then please find the below details. Also, these things, please find the below details. First name Alex, last name Roy. This is the things. This is the details we have submitted to. Uh, what I can say, this is the details we have submitted to reserve our ticket. Okay. For the time being, what we have done, we have just worked with the simple text field. Okay. So in this video, we have covered normal text field that we have covered. Okay. So radio button, checkbox, all these stuffs we are going to see one after another. Okay. So that we are going to see as part of our next video. Okay. That's all for this video. We'll meet in the next video. Thank you.